Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Audrey Shantz and I'm a watercolor artist and a watercolor teacher, and we are on, I think, week 7 of our summer watercolor flowers series. And so today we are going to be, in this video, just sketching this flower, which is a Romulea. That's probably how you say it. And there's a free printable for this series. It looks like this. It's listed in the linked in the description below, so you can get that to use as a reference if you'd like to for all of these. Otherwise, you can sketch along with me today. So this is where we're at in the series. If you wanted to start at the beginning and go in order, we're kind of working down the page, but you can also do this on individual pieces of paper. Obviously, you can do anything that you want. So let's see here. Okay, so for this one, we are just doing sketching. So you can do it on any kind of paper that you'd like if it's only a sketch, but if you're going to be watercolor painting after, I definitely recommend like a 140-pound cold press watercolor paper. I have like the Canson brand. I'll show you real quick what it looks like. But this one you can kind of find anywhere. I tend to get it from Michael's. So it's this one. And all of these things are linked below. For today, you just actually need a pencil and a kneaded eraser and your paper. So let's get started. As always, we will start with observation first. If you've got this reference here, all of these are a little bit simplified from what I actually do, but it gives you like a really good foundation. But really what we're noticing is that, you know, there's a center, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different petals, and they are long and skinny. And if you look at this negative space, look at this, you can fit like big old triangles in between them. Right? So that gives us a clue as to we're not filling the whole thing around almost like a daisy or something would be filled all the way around with those skinny petals. We're not doing that today. And it's hard to see on here, but there is just this little nice center to it as well. Let's look at it on this one, even though we're just doing the sketch for the moment. This just gives you an idea of where we're going. This center is sort of a tube that's kind of going off in this direction here, and then we have a really skinny short little stem because we want to fit a peony on here later. So if you're just doing this on an individual piece of paper, do whatever you want for the length of that stem, but in this case we just stopped it kind of early. And I think that's probably good. So grab your paper, and what we will do is find, like if you're using this one, we're tucked into here. In fact, if you look, this overlaps. Oh no, I didn't really account for that, did I? This is where you wish it was acrylic painting, because you could just go over the top versus watercolor. But we're going to try to fit it in here, and this will give us a little bit of a challenge. So we'll probably come very close and very close, like that. Otherwise, you can just fit it right behind. That might be cute too. We did that over here, and I think that's a very lovely little layered look. So maybe we'll just actually do it behind. And that will teach us kind of a little bit of a different skill today as well. Without further ado, let's begin. So I think I am just going to try to keep exactly the same, except instead of going in front, it will go in behind. I think that will simplify things for us. And as I look where this goes, I don't want it to go further than, like, look at this. It ends before the leaf from my rosebud. And so if I were to even put a mark like this on my paper really light, I just know I want to keep above that. So that's for those of us trying to fit them all together. And I'm going to find a space somewhat in the center of that area. I notice here it's to the, like here's this stem, it's to the right of that, but I did it a little differently here. So I think we'll just find center. And so I'm going to stick it here. And that's just going to be, it's not actually this tube really, it's actually just the center of what all of these are going to sort of spoke out and away from, okay? And they're long, so let me use my pencil. You guys can do this if you'd like to, as if you have the reference is how you would do it. But basically, you can just do what I do. I mean, copy what I get here, you know. Copy my results is what I'm saying. I want you to cheat by watching me, okay? Okay, great. I put my finger here, and actually for my pencil, on a regular pencil sharpener, you would kind of see, it'd be about 2 of that, right? And that's gonna give me the idea for length. This is easy to just do as a guess instead. Like, you do not have to do what I'm doing. But that shows me I'm going about here, okay? And let's start one, and we'll use that as a guide for the rest of them. Okay, so one thing I do want to notice about this is it's tight at the start, it's tight at the end, and it kind of comes out a little bit in between. So let's actually just start, look at this, coming in like that. It's tight at the beginning, and it comes to a point at the end, or like a curved point. And now we just have to get from here to here. And what I want us to do is like not really perfectly rounded shapes, but instead try to find some kind of a straightness in here and use that and then kind of connect them from there. We can change this in a moment. In fact, I think what I want to see is a little bit more bowed out to this side, which means I'll just tuck this one in a little bit. So I'm curving it out on the left, and then on this side on the right, I'm just matching it really. All we want to see is that this petal actually has a bit of a curve to it, just a little bit. See how subtle that is? And now this is sort of the length that we're going to match, even though some of them we can see have like a bend in them, so it actually would be shortening them slightly. Let's do this one next because it goes straight out to the right. Just straight out to the right. Now, if you're going to bump into this, maybe yours actually, instead of going straight to the right, comes up a little bit and then right above. And try not to have it touch that other one unless you need it to. I'm actually going to erase Rosebud for a moment because that you can fit anywhere, right? So I'm going to, this one's a little wider at the base. Okay, I'm going to find where is it going. I want it to go about here. Then I'll connect them, and I'm looking at this one like, oh look, it really does kind of go on a diagonal and then curves over. So I'll widen that up and then curve it. And this what makes each of them unique, I guess. And like they're in a realistic flower, as you see it, you're not going to see them all at the same angle. They're not all going to look exactly the same. And we want to sort of capture that. So this looks a little more realistic than if I made it perfectly symmetrical and rounded out. Okay, now I'm going to real quick write Rosebud so I don't forget. Rosebud. And since we've got this, what if we get this one in here? So it actually looks like this one's, I can choose, it can come this way and go under that stem, but I want it to come all the way to here, I think, and then bend. So I'm gonna go, here's where it's gonna end, and I'm choosing that, kind of equal distant between these two. And then I'm gonna come up, I'm gonna let it go behind, and right about here, I want it to take a turn. Pretty good sized turn. This might help you right here. Put a bend as if it came up, bent, and went over. This will erase, so press lightly. I forgot to say it, and I usually do. Press lightly on your pencil so that you can erase easily. I think my cat is playing like in my jars that have my paintbrushes in them. Okay, here we go. So I really like that, and once I get that there, why don't we erase this line real quick, just so we don't forget. Okay, I'm noticing this one is bigger than this one, but like that doesn't matter. It just matters that it's the same. It will be tricky though getting this distance as far as I want it. If you're running into the same thing, we can always shorten them up by keeping what you have, just slightly adjusting them. Watch this, slightly. And I just took some length off of both of those quickly by leaving it first. Here we go. I just gave it a new end, okay? I don't know, I like seeing how people do that kind of stuff, so hopefully you do too. This one goes over here. It's already a little squatty. Squatty is what I like to call a little shorter. But it comes out from that center. It's a little tighter. It's like a little wider right here. Let's give it that. Now, I don't mind going into here, but if you're going to rip this out later, you don't want to. So you could give yours a bend if you need to or something like that. I'm not too worried about it, so I'm going to let it just go off, like over the perforation. And it comes out, scoops up a little, down again, and meets. And I just made it a tiny bit smaller by cutting off that bottom part. So press lightly and play around with the size and the shape of your petals, you know? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. We just have the legs, right? If this was a body, well, it would have 2 heads, but you know what I mean. Okay, we're gonna come from here and down to about here for this one. And look, it's a little bit wider, isn't it? It's a little more rounded out right here. I could kind of fit an oval almost. I don't want to exaggerate that too much because they need to share a similarity. But this one's gonna come out this direction. So I'm giving it that beginning, kind of checking that it's similar to these. We're gonna go to here. So curving a little. So, and right here, I'd take it a little slightly different direction. Curve it to this point. Remember, it was wider here, so we're rounding it out as if there's a oval here. Skinny and this way. Now my pencil's getting like thick and dark, so I want to make sure I'm not actually doing that too much. I'm just going to lighten it up right now and kind of just go right over what I had. Beautiful. And we have one more. I like how this one kind of comes down first and then to the right. It's almost like if it was a leg, this would be the knee right here. Boop. So we can put a little mark where that knee is, and then look, this is coming all the way down here, which I think will be really beautiful. If these two are way shorter than the rest, here's what I'm doing. I don't know if we'll love that. Okay, so we're gonna start this beginning. We're gonna curve it this way. We wanna take it to here, so remember, come down first and then kind of kick it over to the right. And you can do pretty straight lines in here, and you just adjust them. Like, we get it in here, let it be wonky, then adjust it. But I'm loving that. I'm gonna get rid of this line here. I don't need that anymore. Now I'm gonna look, this one's a little too wide, a little too skinny. So this is where you've got the base, we still need the center. But let's just do a couple little adjustments. I'm gonna widen that one out a little. I don't know, I might like this one now. No, look, I made that skinnier and then it came down. And that right away gives the impression, it just shapes it a little differently. All these little tiny things really add up. Okay, and then this guy, let's see if I can show that to you again up close. It's like going this direction off that way, and it's really like a tube. So if you were to put a little circle here, and then we'll connect it. So let's do that. We will put a little circle here and then connect it. So let me zoom in for you. Sideways circle, like a little pancake going off this direction. Then bring it down, bring it down. I'll get out my kneaded eraser, and you can always like squeeze these to get them to be the right like shape you need. I'm erasing more than I want, but that's okay. I erased the center of that. I want it to be kind of like this. It's not exactly the same as the one I'm seeing. Here, let's give it this top. So what I did was I just kind of separated it so you would see kind of like a darker color on this part, and then this oval up here that we just made would be like the bright yellow, which is called, hold on, I wrote it down, which is called the stigma, which is part of the pistil. And I do think I'm right because I'm looking at a diagram. Got tired of my own ignorance. Okay, from here, I feel like that's pretty good. I don't know, that's a little weird. Hold on one second. We're gonna look at it. I think I want it to be more of a straight. There we go. I'm taking out the curve on the bottom. And then like, let's get into these petals, and you can or can, like don't have to. If you're just doing a sketch, I would add some of these lines, which are gonna go kind of from one end. See, look how I just found the center and I didn't meet it though. Okay, I'll do it again here. Finding the center. Now, if you're painting, you do not have to do this. You can do this with your brush later on. But here we go, from the center, center. I like to do it that way, but not all of them are you actually seeing kind of straight on like that. So you can actually curve it up and curve it up as if the center, like it'd be turned and you'd be seeing more of this half. Okay, let's get into just that stem. And I am gonna keep it short because look, I know I want this space basically for my peony. So I'm gonna take this right, remember it has to come right from that center. Straight down with a nice little soft curve. We'll do another line right next to it, close it off. And this is your sketch. So if you're gonna watercolor paint with me, join me on my next video. Otherwise, hopefully I'll see you next week as we sketch another flower together.